Hello, we're live and recording.
Yes.
We have 83 viewers. How? Why? How did that happen?
They were ready.
Amazing.
Everyone's been waiting.
Greetings, everybody. Hello. Nice. Video game background music is first. I don't even know if that's what VGBM stands for, but Adam is pretty certain that VGBM is video game background music.
Oh.
So that's your name now. These are going quick. Hello, everybody. The world of tomorrow. That's exciting.
All right. Well, as everyone gets...
This is Maggie.
Yeah. Guys, you might have seen me in the test stream. You've definitely heard about me before, probably.
I'm Christopher.
You've probably heard of him. Just to give you guys a little bit of information about how this is going to go, we had some questions submitted ahead of time. And so he's going to read through the questions that are submitted ahead of time and then answer the Q&A questions that you can submit in the Q&A tab.
Yeah, of which there are
several.
Already many. And you can vote on them?
Yeah, so they can upvote which ones they find more important if we
I
find
see
out
that because they're organized by the number of votes. So if you guys do a lot of votes, then it'll change. By the time we get through this 20 minutes of questions over here, then we'll get to these other questions over there. So there's that.
Yep, and I'll monitor the chat, but please submit all questions in the Q&A section, and please use the selfie feature because we do want to see you too.
Oh yeah, right. Do we ever figure out if we can do selfies? I mean, I guess we're constantly doing a selfie.
We are constantly doing a selfie. You will not be able to do selfies on the mobile app, so I'm sorry about that, guys. You can still send us selfies.
Why didn't you fix that programming in the last week?
Yeah, I don't know how to do this thing.
Okay, well, me neither. I just make games. So, all right. Greetings. I think we already covered that part of the conversation, and yet it's a good thing to start. So we did get a bunch of questions, like several pages. Yeah, like 6 pages of questions in advance. So we're going to go through those first, as Maggie just said.
Look at him. There he is.
Oh, look. Oh, it's Jeremy of Handle Games. He's rocking. Man, Jeremy and I once went to a rock concert together. It was great.
That seems like a story.
It is a true story. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to, in no small part because I was there with Jeremy. All right. Anyway, all that aside, let's talk about OblivAeon. Oh, cool. You're in the chat.
Heck yes, I am.
I'm going to stop looking at all the things. There's so many things to look at on the screen. And I'm going to actually bring in more screens in just a second. We'll get to that. So the first question, I'm just doing these in chronological order for the most part. They're just the order that we received them in. That's what chronological means. So the first question we have here today, look at this. We've got Camden and Kate Johnson. Hello. Oh, I'm going to have to stop being distracted by selfies, but I love them. My main question, this is from Joe Bob Joe of the Realm of Discord. I don't know if that means that Joe Bob Joe lives in the Realm of Discord or if Joe Bob Joe is just posting the Realm of Discord chat thing. It's not clear to me. I'm going to assume that he's a denizen of the Realm of Discord, which has to be uncomfortable. Joe Bob Joe writes, my main question is, what do Idealist concepts and fragments look like? We've got a basic explanation of every other gimmick deck, but for her, we've just got that one goes under the other, which is true. So the question is, what do they look like? You're up. And so I have, as I mentioned, there's another screen. Can I make it work though? I can. A penguin. We have a penguin. See? That's
what penguins look like.
I'm not showing them my unlock code.
Smart enough.
Yeah, right? Oh, I'm not typing my unlock code incorrectly. Right. So the Idealist has concepts and it says fragments here. It's actually fragments. Concepts and fragments. And the fragments are all just like a piece of an idea. And that fragment might be something from just some little, wow, the reflection on that screen.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anywhere to fix that.
Well, this is just very reflecty.
Turn up the brightness on your...
Okay, we clearly pre-gamed this.
Do you know how to do that?
I don't. Here we go. Brightness. Brighter. Brighter. Brightest. Darkest.
Okay, well, just go to the brightest.
Okay.
That should help.
Thank you, Maggie. All right. So anyway, we've got these hedgehogs here. I'm just going to tilt it like that. It'll be great. So we've got some like little hedgehogs that are a fragment that she might have, or maybe she has a bright idea. Get it? Because it's a light bulb. And she can use those. She can play those cards, and when she plays them, they act like just kind of like one shots where you play it and it does a thing. It does a couple points of damage, or maybe does damage to a couple of targets, something straightforward like that. But then she has her concepts, and the concepts are bigger deals, and they need to be powered up with these fragments. Because when you play these fragments, you play them and then they go under a concept, or they go to the trash if you don't have any concepts in play. You should get some concepts. So And those could be like a giant karate robot. That's pretty cool. Or, man, this whole screen is so washed out, but this is what I had. A giant floaty cat head. Normal stuff. So those are what they look like, and that's what they do. And the concepts have a power printed on them, and you use that power, and it does a thing, but part of that power's text is something like do, X damage, or damage to X targets, or destroy X ongoing cards, where X is the number of fragments underneath this card, or rather cards underneath this card, because you can sneak other cards under there if you're being clever. Stay there, tablet. Okay, so that was a good question. How are we doing?
You're doing good.
Yeah.
They want to know if we can display the questions that were submitted in advance, and the only way we could do that is if we displayed them on my laptop,
I
held it in the background.
I could submit them as a question. Can I ask my own questions in the Q&A section? I can't.
I can. Oh, you know what I can do? I can submit them in the chat area.
Oh, okay. If you can submit a question, can you?
I don't think I can submit.
You can take a selfie.
I can take a selfie.
But so you could submit them into the questions, but you don't to copy and paste them over and actually.
I can't ask.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, I can.
But you'd have to copy and paste it from this document.
Yes, I can. I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me a second.
Okay. I believe in you.
Where at?
So while she figures out how to post this question, I'm going to start reading it out loud because that's going to take some time. This is a very long question, but I'm going to break it into chunks, so she'll only post the first chunk at a time. We'll see how that goes. Dear art and lore overlords, I write to you today to ask a question on behalf of those of us who are the plastic protectors, the graphic printed guardians, the shielding sentinels. I am, of course, referring to us who sleeve our cards. With the next expansion coming down the pipeline and finished files finally becoming physical, I feel like now would be an opportune time to ask, how many card sleeves are we going to need? Assuming I'm getting everything that is coming out with this current Kickstarter, but owned everything leading up to it, how many sleeves, both standard and oversized, would I need for the, and then there's 6 things. We're going to talk about 6 things. Oblivion expansion, Void Guard, Stuntman, Benchmark, complete foil oversized villain pack, and complete hero collection. Hero variant collection. So first off, Oblivion, you'll need 400 card sleeves for that, plus 12 oversized cards and a book that's the size of an oversized card, but isn't a card, it's a book. Void Guard. Void Guard is just 164 cards. Stuntman is 41 cards since he's a hero. Benchmark is 41 cards because he's a hero. The complete foil oversized villain pack is 118 oversized cards plus a book. And the complete hero variant collection is 67 cards. So there you go. As a secondary question, this is on the same one. Do we have anything that I need to pause on that, or are we good?
No, but you can display it now.
I can't. Oh, I can. Right. So
look for me.
You're right next to me. I found you.
That one.
All
That's
right.
me.
Show question audience. Enjoy.
It's long.
Right. As a secondary question, I am more than a little confused with the decision to make the Final Fight with Oblivion a booklet instead of a series of standard oversized cards. I know you mentioned that part of it was because he had 3 phases instead of 2, but wouldn't it just give you the option to make it back of a card too? The in-cap artworks are some of my favorite moments and artworks in the game. Sure, great, fine. We're doing a booklet because there's 3 phases and because it's a comic book and like this is the big Final Fight for Oblivion, and ultimately because I really wanted it to be a booklet. Like that's kind of what it comes down to. It played really well. It worked extremely well in playtesting. I was very happy with the way that it worked. It looks really good. It feels really good. And yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. That's why it is the way it is, and it works really well. It's very solid. And that way you don't have to like flip over cards. They give a booklet and you just turn through the pages like the first phase, the second phase, and the middle spread, and the last phase. There you go. So we good? We keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Good.
I've got the next ones up from. You can keep going to the next part of that question. Actually.
Awesome. The last part of this question, this is all from Steve, but that's spoilers for the end of the letter. For Stuntman, are we going to see any remnants of ambuscade mechanics where he's shuffling cards face up in either his or his other decks for later possible action? We already see a cost 3 of shuffling cards in the environment deck, so the concept isn't completely out there. I'm just incredibly excited for Stuntman and look forward very much to all the new hero decks. Stuntman is not putting cards in other people's decks or his own. Rather, his shtick is taking turns outside of his own turn. Not taking turns necessarily, but doing a bunch of things outside of his own turn. And I'll talk more about that with the next question, because the next question is specifically about Stuntman. Steve finishes up by saying, regardless, I'm looking forward to finally taking fisticuffs to the fearsome, frightening, and fatal finisher of the multiverse. Keep on keeping on, and keep being awesome. Steve K. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for the letter. I hope that my answers were somewhat satisfactory. The next letter is already here in the Q&A. I can just display it. It says, here we go.
Yep.
Does Stuntman have any cards that read, you may play a card on another player's turn, or does he have to rely on the plethora of other options for out-of-turn play? There are a plethora of other options for him, and those are all super helpful because of the way his stuff works, but we also have stuff in his own deck that is focused, there we go, on him showing up in unexpected places and doing unexpected things during other people's turns. You never know when he seems like he might be down and out, but instead all of a sudden is able to turn the tables on somebody. Wait. I'm jumping the gun. I went too many arcs. So anyway, yeah, Stuntman has lots of cards that have something along the lines of either do something on someone else's turn, or like at the start of a turn, you may activate the ability on this card to play a card or things like that. So he's got a lot of ways to combo into his own out-of-turn actions because he wants to steal the spotlight. That's his thing. Rob S says, I can show this one.
Yes,
here we go.
over.
Rob S says, can we get more card spoilers for the hero? And if not, can we get just one more for Luminary? We've already done a few today. I'm not showing up card text on these because I think if I show the whole card on this, it won't be very legible at all. But for Luminary, when you ask about Luminary, I could give you a robot that's in Luminary's deck. Or I could maybe give you a shot of Luminary doing some monologuing, because that's the thing he does. Or, oh, hey, there's that Stuntman art that I was looking for earlier. He steals a scene. He shows up in other people's turns. That actually worked way better than I expected. Good job, Stuntman, showing up in somebody else's turn. It's Luminary's turn right now. Right, I can show you his cool metal arm that's a part of him now, that he's a nifty metal arm that he made by cutting off his arm. But that's pretty much all I could show you. Anything more than that would be spoilers. How we doing?
Good.
Good.
I feel positive about it.
Good. Is the
They're
chat
all over it right now.
good? I feel like you guys are right here and I'm talking at you and you're right there, but like I'm not back and forth. Anyway, a bunch of questions from Russ. Here we go. Questions for Christopher. What's your favorite mission narratively? What's your favorite mission mechanically, artistically? Who's your favorite character introduced to the story? And what is a thing that you weren't able to include in the expansion that you most wish you could have had room for? All right, one thing at a time. Favorite mission narratively is probably the mission in which you have to help out tiny little skyscraper and knife over here rather, go on a raid of a filter facility, and if you succeed, you get this cool gun and you can give it to Expatriate. You can give it to other people too, but like Expatriate does extra stuff with it. So if you have a cool gun, you give it to Expatriate, right?
Right.
Mechanically, my favorite mission, did I put it up here? I did, is there's this bird, this big angry terror bird, and it's like attacking somebody through a mist portal. That's the edge of the mist portal. And you're like, oh shoot, what do I do? And if you beat up the terror bird, you have to save the person from the terror bird, and if you do, you get a thing. But the way that this card works mechanically is really, like, I'm really pleased with how it turns out, where it has, if it ever deals, on its turn, it tries to deal itself damage. And if it ever deals itself damage, you remove the card, or you move the mission, you fail the mission. And what this is representing is not the bird dealing itself damage, but there's two figures on this card, the bird and the person it's attacking. If the bird ever hits the person, then you lose. And so you've got to protect that card from itself because of the two people that are fighting on it. And then you have to beat up the bird and get rid of the bird so that you can save the person that's on the back of that card. I don't know who's on the back of that card. It's hard to say. No way to know. Favorite mission artistically? Probably just from like straight art point, I love the mission that involves fighting this bad guy version of Fnatic named Hellion. And if you win that fight, you get the character, the Seraph, which is a good guy version of Apostate. And I love those art designs. Like, they both look super cool and very washed out on my screen. But that's the thing. That's my favorite one artistically, probably. Favorite character introduced to the story? Well, it relates to that terror bird that we saw earlier, but I don't want to talk too much about that. There's already a lot of information out there in the wild about that character. And so those of you who know, and those of you who don't will know soon, probably. Okay, what else did Russ say? One thing that you weren't able to include in the expansion that you most wish you could have room for. That's really tough because we actually like put everything in there, and then we also like went back and put more environments in later. That was the thing that we wanted to do, and we're like, let's just do it. things you have room for, like not just story arcs. There's like a lot of minor story arcs that just aren't part of OblivAeon, and so that's, I mean, really, because of the letters page, I don't have any sort of like, oh man, I never got to tell this story, because the letters page is so much of like telling all that story, filling in all that stuff. So that's where I am with that. Cool. Moving on to Alexander's question, who writes, I backed at the total OblivAeon sign level and was somewhat disappointed that the autographs of the Foil Hero collection were in black ink on a black box, and they were very difficult to see. Has a better solution been found for autographs on black surfaces? Yes, humans have found better solutions than that. However, we got like the silver paint Sharpies and the gold paint Sharpies and like a white Sharpie, and like we tried a bunch of different things, and because of the coating the surface of the box, all of them were really bad. The ink would run, and it would not. It was bad. They looked awful, and we ended up going with the black because yes, it's hard to see, but you can see it. You can hold up the box and be like, oh, look, those signatures are hanging out there, and it's kind of subtle, and it's not as overt, and it's not as like over the top, but it looked better, and it was cleaner and nicer, and that we ultimately decided on that because it was the best case scenario. So I'm sorry for anybody who was disappointed in that, but that was us putting our best foot forward. Sometimes our best foot is good enough. Other times we put a lot of extra work into it. Michael M. writes, he starts with the number 6.
Right there.
Yeah,
6.
right. I'm just saying, why does it start with the number 6?
I used to have them numbered, and I changed my methods because somebody submitted quite a large amount herself.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So I didn't want to get that confused.
Fair enough. All right, 6. About how long after the release of OblivAeon can we expect to see OblivAeon, Void Guard, Minipack 4 on Sentinels Digital? Were the decks being developed alongside their physical counterparts? Are any of the decks already fully coded and just waiting for physical release before they can be released digitally? Michael M. All right, Michael, here's the deal. Nothing's done digitally yet. I mean, like the stuff that you've seen is done, the stuff that you have played on your system, but everything else is still in development. There's a lot there. I actually have a meeting tomorrow morning with the digital team about just a bucket of questions about, hey, Christopher, how the heck does this work? It's like, I will tell you. So lots of stuff there, but none of it's done yet. A lot of things are, everything's already in the process of either being coded or being tested, but nothing's just waiting for the physical version to arrive. Colin B, I gotta click this thing, writes, who would win in a fight, Akash Buddha or Vital Strength of the Earth? Personally, I think that Akash Buddha would, because as we talk about in the episode of the letters page, in which we talk about Akash Buddha's backstory, she kind of devoured like every other spirit, like all of them. So that's kind of her thing. She Vital Strength of the Earth is very good at like being defensive, but she can absorb the life of other spirits. So that's pretty harsh. Also, will we be seeing a Spirit Island app at some point? That is a great question. I would love to see a Spirit Island app at some point. Question though. Like, you could ask that question of me. An answer like, man, I really want that happened. And man, I bet you there's somebody out there that could make that happen. But it's pretty much anything. You're hiding under the words again.
There.
I know. I also talk like this, so it's dangerous.
Yeah, and also like you're the main feature here.
No, you're
I'm the side act. It's okay.
Are you gonna come out for like halftime and
yes.
Sing? Are you gonna sing?
No.
Do you have shark backup dancers?
I do.
That's awesome.
They come with me everywhere.
All right. So speaking of Maggie, here's a question for you. Blackfang 108 asks, will there be a transcript put up afterwards?
So afterwards, there will be a summation, essentially, similar to what they do for the letters page, where I will summarize what Christopher says when he's answering these questions. And that will go up on Twitch and YouTube. And then I'll have all of the links submitted on all of our other social media and in the realm of Discord for those of you from the realm of Discord.
Oh, yeah. Russ asks if it's going to include images, which is a good question about like all the images that I've used. I could give you those pictures.
Well,
you could put them up in there.
I mean, it'll include the live, like, it's going to go in addition to the live feed. So the live feed, you'll be able to look through it.
Where are you putting the write-up? I wasn't listening.
The write-up is going to go in the description section of YouTube, in the description section.
Oh, so we can't put images.
But I could make a living PDF of it instead, and then we could put images in that.
I'll probably just, what we'll do is we can link, we'll put a link to our forum to that video, and then in that forum thread, I can post up those images.
Okay, or I can make a living PDF. All right.
This way people have to go to, they have to go to the Greater Than Game forum to see the images. It's
that's fair.
There you go. All right. Boy. So I've been stalling on this question. I'm going to click the button that makes this question live to all of you.
And it's going to be big. Long.
Audio is fine. Video is circa 2006 right now. Somebody says.
Oh,
So
yeah. The video feed is real bad right now.
it's. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I saw
don't
it
know
on
what
the
we
news
can
screen.
do about it.
I don't know what to do about that. I should probably move less. I move a lot.
Yeah. There's nothing we can do to fix it. It'll just have to write itself. It could also be our connection.
We have really good internet here, actually, because it's a business line. So I don't think it's our connection. I'm sorry about the video not happening. You talk with your hands. You are right. I do. I talk with all my hands. All right. All right. Okay. So anyway, I will try to move as little as possible while answering this very long question. I'm going to hit the button. Show the question to the audience. Enjoy. Just start reading fast, everybody. All right, this is a mechanics question. How does the card Love Interest from the San Alonso Champion Studio work across 2 battle zones? Also, if it could be clarified whether it reduces damage once per turn or once per selected character per turn, that'd be helpful too. Okay, so the text of that card is, when this card enters play, select 2 hero character cards. The first time either of those heroes would be dealt damage by a non-hero target each turn, reduce that damage by 2. If the damage is still dealt this way, the other hero deals itself 3 psychic damage. Because it says either and the way that it targets, both characters have to be in the same battle zone for it to do anything at all. But if they're both in the same battle zone, it'll reduce damage once, but it'll only reduce damage once a turn, because if it does it for one, it can't also do it for the other. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, if they're not in the same battle zone, it will have no effect, because things just can't see from battle zone to battle zone unless a card specifically says that it works in both battle zones or across the entire game or something like that. But in general, one battle zone. That's kind of your option there. All right, moving on. I presume that scions flip instead of being destroyed. Oh, sorry. I presume that the scions that flip instead of being destroyed on the front side have some sort of reward for defeating them on the back. But for the ones that have a reward on the front, is the reward the same as the back? Sometimes, but not always. Does the Oblivion event have representation for each Nemesis icon? And are there any Nemesis icons in the mission deck? There's at least one Nemesis icon that never shows up in Oblivion because that character's not around for Oblivion. And there are no Nemesis icons in the mission deck. Okay, does Oblivion's card disrupt space-time, move heroes to the other battle zone as they're damaged? So that card says it deals each target 2 energy damage, and it moves any heroes dealt damage this way to the other battle zone. It does all the damage first, and then it moves all the people that were damaged. So you can't do a clever thing like the question asker mentioned about moving Unity so that Mr. Chomps didn't take damage. How exactly does Best of Time Chrono Rangers work with 2 battle zone? I imagine that whatever target he points to can only be affected by the bounties in its zone, but does the active effect move with them? And can it see Chrono use a power in the other battle zone, or does it just not work if they and Chrono are in different battle zones? If they're in different battle zones, there's no effect that comes from one character across to another battle zone. Like, the battle zones are 2 separate places. It's almost like there's 2 separate games of Sentinels of the Multiverse happening on 2 different tables at the same time, if that helps. How does using the card Southwest Sentinels, how does the deck, I'm going to start over. How does using the Southwest Sentinels deck twice work, if at all? Do you reuse the reference card or use the foil version if you have it? Further, how do they work with the rights of revival? Would you need to revive all 4 to get them back in the box? So if you have your Southwest Sentinels incapacitated, but you want to bring them back for a second run using their Adamant variant, you can do that. You can just fish out the reference card. That's fine. If you revive one of them, it revives all of them and the reference card back to the box. But so yes, you can definitely have the Southwest Sentinels hit the table twice using their variant. I'm going to drink some water.
A solid choice.
The video seems to have caught up looking at your screen.
Everyone says that it looks better.
Good.
And that they like an analogy that either you or Russ used. I can't tell right now. I wasn't paying attention.
What was the analogy?
Well.
Well,
now.
It's too late now. It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. If the hero character card is removed from the game for some reason, I presume you can't bring them back again when another hero is incapacitated. Just clear that up to be sure. No, heroes that are removed from the game aren't in the box. You can't just pull a new hero. If it's been removed from the game, it is gone. Some cards go next to other cards that act entirely independently from the source deck, like Constructs and Hypercortex Stimulator. Those cards continue to act as normal when in another battle zone, correct? Yes, correct. They're doing fine on their own. How do cards that require some input from source decks work in the other zone? Are decisions made for them, voted on by the group in that zone, or does the player that make those choices? How does Rest of the Mind work across multiple battle zones, or is the Visionary unable to choose to redirect that damage? So if there's a choice that has to be made, it's made by the originating player, but if the card specifically is targeting like the originating player or the originating hero, the card can't do anything without that hero's input. Okay, that's all the rules questions for that question, but now I've got just about as many art questions. So here we go. Fortunately, these should be a little bit easier to parse because they're just talking about art. Update 26, there's Art of Benchmark, the Wraith, Unity, and Haka making preparations. Are those mission card arts, or are they arts for something different? They're mission card arts. The rest of the questions are about the arts in the background of spoilers from updates 45 through 51, starting with 45 for those of you following along in the home game. Oh boy, there's another question. Okay, so the Aeon Assault helps show off the Aeon Men, but where you show Cerebral Hemorrhage and Syncopated Onslaught, there's a line art picture of a bunch of heroes. What's that from? That is from a promotional image that Adam drew in 2013 that we ended up using as booth banner art at PAX South, or PAX Prime that year. PAX South didn't exist yet. So yeah, and that's a big banner that we actually have hanging in the warehouse right now. It's a 6 foot tall, 20 foot long banner. But that's just a line art from it. In update 46, the background on the Oblivion shield spoiler has OblivAeon doing something in a city. Is that Rook City being destroyed or something else? So, that is the backside of one of the shield cards. There's art from the backside of one of the shield cards, and it's not Rook City being destroyed. It's in fact Megalopolis. Megalopolis was not entirely destroyed, but it takes a bunch of damage. Did I already show this to the audience? It was so long ago, I can't remember now.
You did, definitely.
Update 46 has 5 Oblivion hero deck backs and a cracked Oblivion in the card background. Is that phase 2 or card art? That's phase 2. Update 47 has a lot. Who is behind the hero reminder card? All we have is a foot and some mysterious energy tendrils. That is phase 3 of Oblivion, and I specifically didn't show you what phase 3 of Oblivion looks like. I know that Redacted makes an appearance on the back of the Scion Reserve panel, but oh, I know who this question is from now. But are they the only Scion to do so, or is it a cool spread of all 10 of them or something? It's all 10, but it's not a cool spread. It's a bunch of individual bios with headshots. So you're like, this is who this Scion is. Here's their bio. There's longer bios for those characters in the rule book, but there's short bios on the back of the card, so you have it right there on the table. What's on the back of the Inevitable Destruction card? The Oblivion logo. Because you never need to turn that card over. So you don't like, it's like, look, here's the Oblivion logo, put that card right side up. That card never flips. Stuntman and Benchmark's hero card background shows a computer chip-esque thing. What is that from Benchmark's deck? Yes, it's a fancy processor from Benchmark's deck. The Void Guard deck backs have the Void Guard team in the background and some weird clocks. Is that from one of their decks or La Comodora's deck? It's from La Comodora's deck. Update 48, you reveal the Battle Zone card, but what's behind it? I can see what looks like a lava flow, so I'm tempted to say Nexus of the Void. You are correct, it is Nexus of the Void. All right, just 2 left. In Update 51, the Scion card reveal has a bunch of less than happy people on it. What's that from? That is a card from the Scion deck where Void Soul's doing a bad thing. And finally, in the Oblivion card reveal art, Oblivion is holding something. But what? I can see silvery tendrils that remind me of Progeny. Is this the rebirth of Progeny? Yes, it is. Thank you, Kate J, for all of your questions, as always. Whew. You want to take one?
No.
No?
No. Do you want me to take one?
Sure.
Do you think that would be
I just want to drink some water.
Okay.
I thought it'd be fun to have you take a question. And I actually don't have a good answer for this question, which is, what are the biggest changes made between versions of OblivAeon during the design process, and why did you make those changes? I made those changes because they were necessary for the game. It was taking too long or too dangerous, too complicated. A little bit after some overcorrecting, it became slightly too easy, but then we corrected back towards that as well. Biggest changes, man. The way the environment decks came in and left play changed a couple of times. There were some hero interactions. There was a bunch of OblivAeon interactions. Like, this is the answer to this question is an entire live stream in of itself that I honestly I'm not interested in doing. The design process was lengthy and it was arduous and a lot of things happened in it. And with that in mind, like, a lot of changes happened over the course of that, and the resulting product is something that I'm very happy with. I don't have like a fun story about, oh, there was this one thing that we did for a while and then we realized, oh, that's terrible, and we got rid of it. Probably the biggest change might be the implementation of the inevitable destruction card to add a couple of different ways of countdowns happening between the phases. So that's probably the single biggest, like, wham, this hits the table and changes things notably. But there were lots of those through the course of it. All right. At any point in time, if you're like, oh, hey, they're talking about a thing and you want to interrupt me,
Okay.
then you can. But if you don't want to do that, that's also fine.
They want to talk about your sharp white vest. And also they've asked if everyone can get vests. That was at the very, very beginning. But
I'm sorry, guys. You can't. Only I have vests. I'm the only person in the world that wears vests. It's a weird thing. It's an entire, like.
Do you want to tell them about the new vest that you're looking into?
I couldn't. Jen said no.
Oh.
There was a sequins vest. It was all white sequins, and I had to think where if you like push it up the other direction, they go the other color because of the backside of the sequins. And then I was gonna like painstakingly remove individual white sequins and replace them with different shades of blue sequins to make the Greater Than Games logo.
You were gonna make the old man.
I was gonna make the old man that make our shirts do that.
Yeah.
Don't
lie to people. You weren't gonna do it.
Well, Jen said that that he wouldn't do it, and so they said, well, I could do it, and Jen's like, you should probably make games.
That's also true. They want to talk about the hairdryer in all caps. It's a very big deal.
I don't have a hairdryer on my desk.
I don't see one either.
We talked about the hairdryer in a recent episode of the letters page. We talked about in the settings episode, I want to say. Somebody in the chat will probably correct me. In a recent episode of the letters page that I think we've released already, we had a whole discussion about where the hairdryer comes from and what it does and why it's important and why it wasn't important for a long time. So keep an eye on that. And in the chat, they mentioned, Realm Discord from the Magical Settings episode. Thank you, Null Punked. That is correct and very helpful. So yes, if you have questions about the letters or about the hairdryer, then go to the letters page. All right.
A copy of Maggie's necklace. Wait.
Oh, that's nice.
If we can't get a vest. No, this was my grandmother's, so there's only one. Sorry, guys. Don't steal it. It was my grandmother's.
Okay, that's a good argument.
Also, I'd fight you for it. It'd be bad. We can't have you lose a fight on the air. It would be so bad.
That's the best thing you could have said. That was great. All right. More questions from the thing. Yeah. Okay, here we go. In your playtesting the Oblivion scenario, what's the greatest number of heroes you've seen a single player go through in one game? And is that number less probable under the final rules? Yes, that number is less probable, but I've definitely seen somebody go through a double-digit number of heroes in the course of a single game. A low double-digit, like only a dozen or so, but that's a lot of heroes. In your to-do list, where does challenge mode for Oblivion and the remaining villains lie? In the middle of my to-do list. It is a thing that I hope and strongly believe that I will have done this year. Other than the Scion Redacted, are there any other secret reveals you're looking forward to seeing our reactions to? Yes. And I won't tell you about them because then it wouldn't be very good secrets.
Andy says he can only identify 397 out of the 400 cards in Oblivion. Which ones are...
Is he counting enough hero reminder cards?
Andy, are you counting enough hero reminder cards?
We'll get back to Andy while I read more of this question. Yes. He is counting? He says yes?
I know.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that was quick. Is there no delay on this live stream? I shouldn't swear.
Did you swear?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like how accused her. Like, did you swear? Do you think that there's any way to make Scions work in a Vengeance-style game or Vengeance villains take the place of Scions? Can you think of any new ways to mix and match components of the Oblivion scenario with a normal game that would be fun and balanced? Yes, sure. You can do that, and like I could sit down and come up with ways to put Vengeance-style villains in the place of Scions, or pull Scions out and use them in another game. But again, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm interested in like everything that we're doing is kind of modeling the stories that have happened throughout the pages of Sentinel Comics. And if you want to do that, I mean, heck, that's how I got started making games, is by taking other people's games and hacking them into different things so they worked for me. So like totally do that. You're getting this giant toolbox of lots of different game effects, and feel free to put it together in different ways. But so the answer to the question is yes, I can think of ways to do that, and I'm probably not going to spend any time on it. But it doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It just means it's not for me. And then last but not least, after committing to ending the multiverse, did you ever think of a villain concept or hero promo card and regret making the decision to end it all? No, I didn't regret it. I did think of more ideas, but I've got this whole RPG and other games entirely. So I'm going to keep coming up with ideas for villains, heroes, and everything in between, and keep using those in other products, and they won't be part of Sentinels the Multiverse, and that's not a bad thing. Thank you, Benjamin L., for that letter.
We came up with a drinking of water game.
Drinking water. Okay. Tell me more.
Christopher swears, take a drink. Christopher takes a drink, take a drink.
Okay.
Christopher takes a drink, take a Maggie, which was highly.
That's not a thing. You can't take a Maggie.
Yeah. I said that they were vicious when untamed.
Which is probably true.
All right.
Do we ever get an answer from Andy?
Andy said 5.
Okay, that's probably enough. And you got all the shield cards. There's 400 came from something. But look, if I'm wrong and it's only 397, you got 3 extra sleeves. You can use those for.
You take a Maggie if a drink takes a Christopher. There we go.
Nobody's going to take me or Maggie. It's not going to happen. I'll tell you what, if that people just try it.
10 shield cards.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, 10 shield cards?
That's what Andy says.
Is it 10 shield cards? It probably is. Listen, my brain is leaking out my ears. I've been writing RPGs for the last 3 weeks. It probably is right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I was wondering if it is possible that you post an update on Kickstarter. Wait, I'm supposed to click this thing. For when you start unloading a container for OblivAeon. Here it is. And when you ship out the last box in the container, state what backer number you finished the container with so we see how far along you are with shipments. I will definitely let you know when we receive the containers, because when the containers show up, I'm going to take pictures and be like, oh my gosh, guys, the containers are here. I'm definitely going to post about that. I might even try to do a Kickstarter live thing like this, just to be like, here's the first case of the container, here's the box, open the game. Oh no, it's misprinted, everything's terrible. That last part's not going to happen. That's science fiction, not science fact. Yeah, I will let you know when the process starts, and I'll definitely let you know when we've done the final ones. As for letting you know what backer number we're on as we finish each container, I probably won't do that, because ideally we're going to be getting these containers fast enough that we're going to be like receiving a container, shipping everything out, receiving the container, shipping everything out, and I want to take the time to stop and do that process. Now, if there's enough time between containers that I have time to give you individual updates on how each container went, on the contents of those containers, I will do that. If you're getting updates like that, that means this process is going much slower than we have scheduled it for. So let's both hope that doesn't happen. All right. Oh, also, this is for the same person. Are we going to get emails that have our shipping information, like the tracking number? And the answer should be yes, but this is from Nathan B and Mark B for European backers specifically. And European backers are happening through Spiral Galaxy Games, yes. I believe, happening out of the UK, and it's shipping all internally in there in the UK. So that is more up to them than it is up to us. But that process should also go much faster because there's far fewer European backers, and that process should go real quick. It's just one container, so nice, quick, done. All right. The penultimate question from this document, before I get over to your questions over here, is I realize this is an OA stream, an OA stream. How would you pronounce that? A WA stream.
I think of it as that show on Netflix, Original Angel OA. Did you not watch that?
No, I'm good. Sick reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you doing buzz marketing for Netflix in my live stream? Oh. Anyway, did you have any info about Primor?
Oblivion. That's what it's for.
I know it's.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I'm just making sure.
Specifically, I've heard talk about changing around the system. How substantial is that? Will there be backwards compatibility with the Flame of Freedom? What does the timeline for that look like? I greatly enjoy Sentinel Tactics and I'm eagerly awaiting Primor. I enjoy Sentinel Tactics and I'm eagerly awaiting Primor as well. Primor does change around the system some, and as a result, we cannot announce any sort of timeline on how long it's going to take, because it's going to take how long it takes until it is done and right, and we love it. The question, if you're asking about what the timeline like that looks like, it's the timeline it's the darker of the Sentinel Comics timelines, if you mean the in-story timeline. We talk about that a lot in the letters page about the Miststorm timeline and the bad stuff that's happening there. And the Prime War product specifically deals kind of with the end of that timeline. So that's a story spoiler, exciting times. Backwards compatibility with Flame of Freedom outside the box, no. You won't be like, I'm going to take these components from Flame of Freedom and these components for Prime War and just play them and it'll work. But we're going to put out a big pack that like makes everything compatible. It's like, hey, take your Flame of Freedom stuff, and here's some cards, and here's some things, and then you're good to go. So that is the plan there. So there will be backwards compatibility, but not just like as is. It's going to be different. But it'll also be like, it's such a good thing, and I'm saying too much about it here. So last question, then we'll catch up on some chat room chatter, and then I'll go over to the Q&A tab and go through those. And by last question, I mean last question from these things, not last question of the day, of course. I can't find your question, Maggie.
It might not have gone in. Hang on.
That's okay.
I can resubmit it.
Yeah, just resubmit it, and I'll answer it out loud. And if I see it come in, and then I'll do the thing. Okay. This is from T.S. Kami, who writes, or maybe it's Skami, who writes, I realize this is, wait. Oh, this is the same one. Never mind. That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
You already did.
Because I already did it. I did the first half. This is the second half. So this is the, oh wait, I'm still on that same track. Okay, what happens when Guides uses, yeah, I'm that guy to copy Hippocratic Oath from Dr. Medico from the Sentinels deck, and then uses I can do that too to copy Dr. Medico's malpractice's red right hand ability? Do they each apply only once, similar to redirection effects, or does it loop arbitrarily? They each apply only once. It does not loop infinitely or arbitrarily because loops like that are bad. So there you go. I think that's everything for this document. Can you confirm and or deny?
That is accurate.
Awesome.
Confirmation.
That's great. We're doing so well. How is everybody doing today? How's the chat room going? We got through all of that in 40 minutes, and I thought it would take 20.
Look, our faces don't glow.
Oh, because I got rid of the white.
Yeah.
Here, is this better?
Do you like this better?
How about this?
Don't you? I don't like this at all.
Now all my monitors are off and I can't see anything.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I think so.
as it turns on, do you think?
I don't know what they're seeing.
I know what they're seeing.
The webcam didn't turn off.
So let's see. They're asking who Matt is because they saw the Night Mist tattoo thing. Matt
gets a Night Mist tattoo. Matt is. Did we not announce Matt? No, we did. We announced him.
Yeah,
we announced him before I announced. Yeah, Matt's our inventory manager. Matt and Jody are team warehouse. Jody was the solo warehouse destroyer for years for us, and then last year we hired Matt to make a dynamic duo, and they're great. I would bring Matt in right now, but unfortunately he recently left for the day, so that is impossible. But he's great. Matt's fantastic. If you are ever at a convention and get a chance to meet Matt, you should tell him that I think he's fantastic, because I'm not going to tell him to his face. I don't want to give him a big head.
Corey Anderson says, what's in the Tumblr? But they spelled it like Tumblr, the website.
There's a lot of things in Tumblr.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to explain to you what's in Tumblr because I don't know, because I'm an old person. Maggie, what's in Tumblr?
Well, we have our Tumblr, which is greaterthangames.tumblr.com, where
marketing.
you can see updates for all of our social media. And also they said, when will the new heroes be demoed at PAX East? I do want everyone who actually submit questions in the Q&A.
So yeah, I'm going to go there next. I don't want to do so much questions here in the regular chat. But what?
It stops on a stupid face for you.
I mean, always. Demoed at PAX East. When will it be demoed at PAX East? Like when we have time to do so at PAX East. I hope we have production copies from the printer in time for PAX East. We were not going to have it for sale, obviously, there, but be able to show off some production copies. And I'm going to go to PAX East, so I'm going to run some Sentinel Comics RPG stuff at PAX East, and I'll probably also run some Oblivion games if I have an Oblivion set. If I don't, I'm not going to make a final prototype set to bring with me because it's just dozens of hours to make that. And I got other stuff that I need to run. But okay. Are we ready to return to the Q&As? No?
Someone says you could also find the old DeviantArt account for Adam, probably.
Yeah, it's out there, and he doesn't update it anymore, and he actually hates all of the art on it. So stop torturing Adam with his old DeviantArt account. That's past Adam. Adam hates the art that he did in 2013, let alone art that he did in 2009, and so
yeah, constantly improving.
I think Adam hates the art he did in 2015.
Based on conversations that we've had, he's just
it's terrible. It's all bad.
He's it gets better. It's bad. Well, he doesn't say it quite like that.
Yeah, no, he's not so optimistic about it. Okay, gonna go through via votes and chronological stuff. Here we go. Daniel asks, how big is the Oblivion comic going to be? About a comic book size. If you asked how many pages, if your question is about the page number, it's 18 pages. Any news on the ETA for the RPG Kickstarter? Yes, it will be this middle of the year time, sometime between now and Gen Con. I'm going through these too fast. Now they don't fade away.
Yeah.
I'll take a drink.
You could also take an X.
Oh, no, that doesn't work. What do you, GTG, think that us, the fans/supporters, should take away from this Kickstarter that would help us make the world a happier and friendlier place? That is a great question. I think that there have been a lot of people expressing their opinions in the comments and on the updates of the Kickstarter. And some of those people have been fantastic, and a vast minority of those people have been grumpy to the point of being inappropriate. And I think that it's important to be able to express your opinion, and I think it's fine to be upset with somebody. And like, I get it if you're frustrated about the delays here. That totally happens, and that's totally fine. But don't take it out on other people, and don't be rude, and don't be mean, because that's actually, I mean, a thing that you might have learned from watching the Kickstarter comments is that's a bad way to get your point across. If you are being aggressive and abrasive and rude, even if you're 100% correct. I'm actually dealing with this in another situation where if you're a person who is 100% correct about a thing, and I agree with you 100%, but you're being aggressive and rude and a jerk about it, people aren't gonna respond well to that. People aren't gonna think well of you.
Oh.
Oh, what?
So the Q&A votes aren't updating for you, but they are for me.
Well, if I hit refresh on this page, everything's ruined.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. It's weird that they're not updating for me.
Yeah. So Sonavar, let's see.
Sonbar.
Richard actually has the highest one.
Well, I'll have to find him.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Looking for Richard. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Everybody be nice to each other, not just because it's nice to be nice to each other. It's important to be kind, but also because it's more effective communication to be nice to each other. Richard, here we go. There's 3 Richard questions. I'm just taking the first one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is there any character that you couldn't include in the game that you really, really wanted to? No. Is there any character that you wish you created that you wish you had created that would have fit into a space in Sentinels? That's what the RPG's for. Like, I can just keep creating infinite characters. Don't worry about it. There's going to be more characters. And am I sad that anybody didn't make it into the card game? Like, no, not really. The card game is very complete. Where am I going next?
Let's see. 72 for Sonavar. Sonbar.
Which one?
What has GTD learned?
We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about communication, and also we've learned a lot about how far along we should be with a project before we bring it to Kickstarter. In our mind, because the purpose of Kickstarter was, are people interested in this thing? How much are people interested in this thing? Should we do this thing or not? Let's do a Kickstarter. People are interested and they want us to do the thing? Great. Now that the Kickstarter is done, we will make the thing. That didn't work out for people for Oblivion for the most part. They wanted it to be much faster than that. And even if we had like put a realistic estimation time on the Kickstarter when we thought it was a realistic time frame, but that was how long it takes me to make an expansion for Sentinels: The Multiverse, not how long it takes me to make the final expansion for Sentinels: The Multiverse that brings in a ton of new mechanics and ends the multiverse and adds 11 new heroes to the game. Anyway, so yeah, at this point, we're kind of looking to have games a little bit further along before we put them on Kickstarter, which kind of defeats the initial purpose of Kickstarter, but it adds to the secondary purpose. That just means that any Kickstarters we do that aren't successful are going to be a bigger hit to us. But I think that's fine because an important part of Kickstarter is managing to give everybody what we want to give them, and to give people good feedback and good products in a good amount of time. So that just means we need to accelerate our internal schedule before going to Kickstarter. So that's, I think, the biggest thing.
Okay, let's see. 100. Shoot, this has changed since I last looked at it.
Okay.
169 for VGBM.
Video game background music, which I still have not been convinced is or is not what that stands for. Are the rumors?
Yeah.
The Wraith's hairdryer will be on the mission deck, and they'll actually find out what it actually does. Those rumors are based on reality. What else?
DC.
Like
Chase K.
This is the worst puzzle hunt thing I've ever
I know.
done.
I'm sorry, guys. He's got an orange little logo. He moved to Hawaii recently.
Oh, this is all sorts of things I'm missing out on here.
So many.
There's
You're
so
not
many.
getting all the questions. I don't think.
I'm okay. If I refresh it, it'll shut down the live stream. I am firing the voting system. Yeah, I can't do anything here. If the votes aren't coming through, so I'm just gonna fire the voting system and answer all the questions. You guys ready?
Okay, I got this.
All right, keep an eye on the comments and let me know the chat, and let me know as people.
I'm gonna read through the ones that we have so far, right? Or
No,
are you gonna just keep going?
I'm doing this. You do the chat.
Okay.
You pay attention to the chat and you keep up with people and talk to people there. And if they ask important questions, feel free to interrupt me. Are you ready?
One more thing. You guys broke Kickstarter. Good job. Like, that's basically what happened. You submitted so many questions, you broke Kickstarter a little bit, but we'll fix it a little.
We're not going to fix it. It's Kickstarter's problem.
We'll work around it.
Sure. Final official. Okay, Alex writes, what is the final official? This means everything, period. Regular size card count for everything that is shipping with OblivAeon. I need to start buying some sleeves in bulk. We talked about that in the first chunk of today's recording, so you can go back and watch that. But ultimately, let's see, it was like 400 and then 40 and 40 and then 164. So we're up to 740 plus 67 there. So 8. Is that right? No, I do too much. 600. 647. So like, yeah, 700 or 800 sleeves. But there, I give you specific numbers at the beginning of the podcast of the recording, and I'm sure, quote unquote, that at some point Andy will put up his like big count of all the things. Did he put a link?
Here. No, he didn't put a link, but he put the number.
668
plus the 8. I don't understand.
The 8 you don't understand. It's gotten even more now. So anyway, so yeah, there you go.
Huh. Don't think about it now.
All right, so Andy, you're gonna answer in the chat. That's great. When will guys receive the key to the universe? It depends on what missions you do and how well you do them in Oblivion. Is there any mental awareness of Oblivion left after their defeat? Can they ponder their own feelings? Who ponder their own feelings? Can Oblivion? Yes. No. I see what you're saying. Can Oblivion ponder its own failings? No, there should be, but Oblivionness is split across multiple realities that are unconnected from it, that are completely disconnected from each other. So it is rent. It's unable to form anything for itself. But there's still bits of Oblivion left out there in lots of different ways that we'll continue to dig into throughout the futures of Sentinel Comics. Will there be advanced and challenge mode for Oblivion? Yes, advanced mode is printed right on the Oblivion stuff, and challenge mode I've already written for Oblivion, and but to tell you, it would actually be extremely spoilery. Actually, story-wise. Have you ever thought about making an information book that includes information of each hero's backgrounds, different costumes they've had in the past? Okay, so like a history of Sentinel Comics book. I mean, like I'm being a twerp here. We're going to put out a history of Sentinel Comics book that has a lot of that information. That said, it's a little different than what you're asking for, but it's going to cover a lot of that same stuff, and with even more stuff too, because it's actually going to talk about the history of how the publication company Sentinel Comics came to be, and its story throughout the years as well. Then I have, again, will there be an advanced challenge mode for Oblivion? We already did that. If Arjun Adam is an animal, what animal would he be? What's the first animal that comes to their mind? A bird of some sort. Yeah.
Penguin.
No.
That's not that. Ferret. Aardvark?
Ferret and aardvark are not birds.
Okay, well, it's not me. Owl.
Okay. Do you have any more info about EU delivery? Not any more than what I said earlier when I was talking about Spiral Galaxy Games getting it out. And actually what we posted several updates ago about how it's going to work. That's the way it's going to work. What is your favorite new hero deck from Oblivion, and which deck mechanics do you most enjoy? That's really tough. They're like all my children. These are my babies. I have a really hard time picking favorite heroes ever, especially, let alone favorite heroes from a specific set. The hero that I'm going to play first when I first open Oblivion box is either La Commodora or maybe a Castria. It's tough, but I can't say those are my favorites because I don't have those. Nathan has 2 horribly selfish questions. 1, you said you're going to ship it to backers by the backer number, which is an awesome way to do it with rewards, early birds, etc. Okay, but the backers who live not in the Americas, are you going to put them in a box each time they turn up and reach critical mass, or are they going to go through your warehouse? The international stuff is all going through like
Spiral Galaxy.
Well, not all of it. That's just the EU stuff.
You're right.
So international stuff is kind of happening like alongside everything else, and they're going to get shipped out like in parallel, because international shipping, of course, happens different than domestic shipping. But we're doing so much of it always, constantly, that those are going to just be essentially happening in parallel with everything else.
Would you be a Senegal parrot if you were a bird? They have vests.
Sure. Say sure. Yeah.
I don't have to say sure.
No, you say sure.
Okay.
Will Oblivion be available to play at UK Games Expo? It should be, because we should have been receiving it by then. So we'll bring it. I don't know if we'll have it for sale. I don't think we'll have it for sale. No, we won't, because it won't be in distribution by then. So we won't have it for sale, but we'll bring a copy to play. Saint said there were some polls out not too long ago about Sentinels being released on a console. Any more detail on that? I would love to play the canon story of Sentinels Multiverse. Yes, okay, so that is not from my end of things, but that is the Handelabra end of things. They are looking to bring it to console, and that is all up to them, and I have no part in that other than like I'll write the story stuff, and I'm excited for it to happen, but I don't have any news for you on that front.
Why weren't Hammer and Anvil given hero decks? Probably because they're never act as heroes, but it just feels like a missed opportunity.
They're not heroes.
That is why.
Yeah, no. Only heroes get hero decks. Barring any typhoons or other major setbacks, oh man, setback. About how long do you think it will take before you're done shipping out all the priority orders that are by people who back the project? Yeah, right. I think that we should have, oh man, anything that I say now is going to come back to bite me. Realistically, I'm expecting to have all of that done plus by the middle of June at the latest. But we could vastly beat that deadline, and I don't think that we're going to lose to that deadline, but we could beat that deadline pretty significantly. It's also out of our hands. That is really dependent on ocean freight and on rail lines, and like as soon as we get that stuff, we're going to ship it right out. We have such a cool system. Maybe in a future update we'll show you what we're going to be doing with the ship outs, because in the warehouse back there, we have the dock doors where the cargo containers come in, and then we put these rollers on racks up into the cargo containers and roll boxes out of them super fast, and the boxes come through, and as they come through we put labels on them and ship them right back out. So this process is going to go super quick. So what was the hardest gameplay element to balance in OblivAeon? OblivAeon. He was initially way too hard and then too easy for a short amount of time. But yeah, I know the story. Sorry.
Somebody asked if the physical dimensions are known yet. Sorry.
Yes. Of what? Of OblivAeon? Of the case?
Of the case. It's listed in one of the updates.
So there's three different. The OblivAeon box is the same size as Sentinels, the Multiverse box. The Ultimate Collector's case, we posted the dimensions on that somewhere, and somebody in this chat actually might have that information on tap, and they can respond. But I don't have it off the top of my head. It's not in any of these papers on my desk. And then there's also the case that we're shipping everything in, which also we put in an update. So I hope that helps. I clicked on Saint's question. I know the Story War Kickstarter did not go as planned, but there's more interest in the Cosmic Contest comic than you realize. Any chances of adding it on for pledge? If not, how much do I need to send out of PayPal to bankroll my own personal copy? Way too much, because we've got like too many projects to work on right now. If we ever have an opportunity where it is a viable thing for Adam and I to make comics, where I'm going to write them and Adam's going to draw them, we're going to make comics, we will do that. But it's currently not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth best use of our time. So unfortunately, it's not happening right now. As much as we'd love to, obviously we love comics and we'd love to make comics. That's why we did this. But gotta make ends meet. All right, Richard says, what came first, Sentinels the Multiverse or guys? Sentinels the Multiverse. Does the email address Christopher Greater Than Games actually go to Christopher, or is this another lie? It does go to Christopher, and I'm probably that Christopher that it goes to. Probably. Which of the Oblivion 5 villain turned heroes was the most fun to design and create? My babies! So many favorites questions. They were all really fun for different reasons, because it was all rehashing villain mechanics into hero decks and like bringing forth fruition of setups and promises that had been made years ago. I don't have a favorite. They were all super fun for very different reasons. I loved all of them. They were great. Why did you schedule this live stream for a time where I can't watch? Is it because you hate me? Richard, I don't hate you personally. Daniel thought of another question. Aside from Cosmic Contest, congrats to the winner. Will there be more opportunities to have yourself immortalized in the world of Sentinel Comics in the form of a Kickstarter pledge levels in future campaigns? Possibly. Possibly. We'll see. We want to do it very sparingly. So it is going to be rare, but possible. How many unique pieces of art did Adam have to draw for OblivAeon? Oh gosh, we determined this at one point. It was certainly hundreds. Fewer than 600, I know. More than 200, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm very sure it's more than 200. So somewhere in that range. Can you please speak to what made this campaign take so much longer to complete than originally estimated? Was it you hadn't done enough research on the big box beforehand? Nope. Was the content not play-tested to the extent before that point. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this earlier that I don't know when this question was posted, but we did an estimation of the time for how long this Kickstarter would take based on, oh, it's another expansion for Sentinels of the Multiverse. I've done many expansions for Sentinels of the Multiverse. They take roughly this long. That's how long we'll say it'll take. But I'd never done the final expansion to Sentinels of the Multiverse that not only introduced 11 new heroes and also a ton of content that got just through stretch goals that we hit very quickly and a brand new way to play the game, but also it's the end. It's the end of the multiverse. There's a lot of pressure, not from you guys, but from me on myself for this because I'm ending the multiverse. And with that, I have certain expectations for how it's going to go. So, so yeah, that's a big part of it. The other part of it is the box did not. The reason it's late is not because of the box. The reason it's late is because the game itself took a bunch of extra time, and we didn't have the game done before we went to Kickstarter because that would have defeated the purpose from our minds of what the Kickstarter was for, was determining if people even want this. We'd already had tons of expansions out for Sentinels. Do people really want more? Clearly they do. So that's kind of what happened there. I have a theory about redacted. Please tell me you won't reveal it today because I want to write a huge letter for letters page. All right. I was going to not reveal it, but since you've fit this letter in, I will tell you now that redacted is. All right, cool. I said it, so if you can lip read, now you know. Will there be challenge advanced modes for OblivAeon? Yes. During playtest, did someone manage to defeat OblivAeon without losing any heroes? Yes.
Didn't Adam strain his finger at one point a couple of months ago from drawing too much?
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And Paul and I had to make him go home and take several days off because he's like, well, it's been hurting for a while, but I'm just going to keep drawing. And we're like, no, because you could actually do like serious permanent damage to yourself and never be able to draw again. We need you to keep drawing. So yeah.
We were actually just talking about that this week.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah.
About Adam's drawing, or
about how he had to take off time. We Friday night, before we left, we all just sat around for like 30 minutes and talked about work and life and stuff. It was really nice.
That was nice.
Yeah. I don't talk to Adam enough. He's always in his room.
He's always
drawing,
in seclusion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can show. So like.
They did want a tour. They asked if we could do a tour.
All right, I'll do a tour after. I'll do a mini tour that it doesn't
Yeah.
involve moving around too much.
I was thinking maybe for the next update we could do a more serious tour and I can use my laptop.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We're gonna do. Oh man, I'm gonna commit to this now. We're gonna do live stream updates like this. The first update in March and the first update in April. So in the March update, I'm just saying things and feel free to like slap me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm good with this.
Okay. The first update in March, Maggie and I are going to walk around the office with a laptop and we're going to look at people's offices and we're going to identify human beings and it's going to be great. What?
In April, we are at PAX East.
During the first Tuesday?
I'm pretty sure.
Look it up. I believe you.
Let's see. The first Tuesday of April is the 3rd. We will leave on the 4th. We will be okay. Yes.
Wait, why are we leaving on a Wednesday for PAX East?
That's what Matt told me. Matt, who nobody knows apparently. Well,
I feel like we're probably going to leave on Tuesday. Unless, well, I guess we do have less setup because we're not doing a retail space, right?
yeah.
Maybe. If we're in town for that Tuesday, we'll do the update then. If not, we'll post a quick text update and do the video update a week later. Either way, like I said, the first update in April, whether that's on the first Tuesday or the second Tuesday.
Exactly. There we go.
Right. So the March update, we'll walk around and look at people's offices and poke humans and be like, "Human, you're on camera," and they're like, "Oh, you should have warned me. I wore my gross clothes." You're like, "No, this is what you look like now in real life." Right. So we'll do that in March, and then in April we will do a warehouse tour. So in March we'll do the office tour, look at all the offices. In April we'll do a warehouse tour. We'll go back there. We'll show you the shipping system. We'll show you our shelving. We'll show you our suite rollers and our 2 forklifts and our warehouse crew, who you'll probably also see in the March update. So yeah, that is the plan. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Good.
People think that Matt is a hallucination. And my response to that is, if you add us on Snapchat, you will see Matt way often. He was in a Snapchat today. I hung out with him over the weekend.
Matt was not in a Snapchat today. That was Paul and I wearing Matt's shirt.
No, he was, because you guys all shot at me today.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. Where we had to mute it. Hostile working environment. Anyways, what is Snapchat? Well, if you get a Snapchat and add us on there, I will teach you how to use Snapchat while you're on the app.
I don't know what she's talking about. Right. So Matt's probably not a hallucination, but if you are on Snapchat, you can see a picture of Paul and I wearing Matt's shirt because it's big enough for both of us to fit in. Kate Johnson says, "Oh boy, arts, will those be available to look at post-stream?" Most of them, yes. So like I mentioned before, I'll put them in the forum. I am going to leave one of them out because it's super spoilery and I zipped past it on purpose. How will Ride's inventions differ from Luminaries? Does Luminary acknowledge Ride's newly manifested technological powers? I mean, they're different because Rides are much darker, and also they're kind of like magic and technology combined, whereas Baron Blade's just technology and Luminary as a result. Luminary and Rides don't like hang out socially, so there's not much of acknowledgement there. Are you still planning to develop the updated version of Sentinel Tactics? Yes. How would Parse react to somebody trying to flirt with her? Very obtusely. Is the vest going to be available from accessories? No. Super curious. Will see any cards displaying any lady love, lady, or man love, man stuff? I know we got several LGBT plus characters coming. I'm wondering if we're going to see anything pop up in art or lore text. It's certainly likely. I don't specifically have like on my whiteboards of story like, this is the part where I'm going to have a dude smooch a dude or a lady smooch a lady or something non-binary happen in there. Like, I don't have it planned out for like, this is when the smooching will happen. But I also don't have any plans. I'd be like, this is when the lady and dude smooching that is totally heterosexual and normative will happen. So like, there's not any specific plans for any sort of smooching, but smooching could happen at any time. You never know. You have to be, you know, like quick and ready and agile for the smooches because they could just happen. What would you do? You wouldn't even know. You'd be like, oh, what's happening? Okay. If you mix and match the sounds of Sentinels during Oblivion, how would reviving work? Would you use the other version to speak to the specific team? No, like if you mix and match them for the first time out, then those ones are gone and you have to bring in other ones for the second half. Hey, Christopher, could you show like a donut card, one where she's fighting Omnicron 4? I want to talk about it and use it as an avatar. No. Hey, Christopher, Maggie, the letters page has revealed a few characters. We just talked about this. We look forward to it. Yes, you can look forward to more being revealed in the future, definitely. Is there going to be a transgender character revealed? I don't want to talk specifically about who and what we're doing in the future. Like, there's going to be more characters, and they're going to be from all manners of walks of life and things. So I hope that helps. But we definitely have a lot of exciting plans, and we hope that you enjoy them. Are there more plans for the RPG to have source books from other eras? So the initial group of source books are all going to be focused on like the arc of story that is coming out of like post Oblivion stuff, the Sentinel Comics RPG storyline there. However, there are going to be other future source books that then branch off in different directions. So it really depends. It really depends on you. It depends on how many source book people buy and how much interest there is in the RPG. Because if there's like, oh, there's enough interest that we need to make 30 books, great, I can do a lot of exciting things with 30 books. But if people are like, look, we want like 3 or 4 source books and then call it a day, that's fine too.
Who are the members of Daybreak?
Oh man, I cannot tell you that. I mean, I can. Are they written behind me? No, they're not. They are written on. Oh boy, I'm going to try this. They're written on, there's a whiteboard in that office over there. Go, Maggie, go.
This office.
That's the office. And in that office, there's that whiteboard there. There's definitely stuff on there that I'm not going to talk about. Good job. Good hustle.
Yeah, I got that.
That was good. Okay. When can we get Sentinels related t-shirts and mugs?
Plans.
Maggie has plans. But Maggie's going to do it.
I'm not sure when exactly, but let me tell you the second I know, I will let everyone know.
Certainly, now that we have Maggie on board, she's more likely to make things like that happen because, like, let's be honest, I'm just not the guy to make that stuff happen. I know this is focused on Oblivion, lead up to Oblivion. We're working out the unlock conditions on Freedom 5 Absolute Zero in the digital game. Do you have any hints for us? I thought that the unlock condition for Freedom 5 Absolute Zero was already determined. Somebody already figured that out, right? Like somebody already got the unlock on that. Is anybody in the live stream responding about
unlock
this?
Conditions.
Like I think that that was already discovered. Yes.
No one has, not the conditions. Nope. FZAZ is still a puzzle. I believe that is the one that no one has figured out yet.
Oh, for some reason
That's what Jeremy says too.
Oh,
Very
yeah, Jeremy's very, yeah. I would believe Jeremy like 3/5 of the time.
Also, people want to know if they can have Mr. Chomps now.
Yeah, go grab it, Mr. Chomps. We'll just shove it.
I can't reach into the case. I'm too short.
Is that true?
Yeah, I tried to do it the other night. You don't know.
Do you have a?
I tried to steal from somebody else.
All right. That's termination. Absolute zero. What did I write for absolute zero? Now that Maggie's gone, it's just we're going downhill here. Absolute zero. So you do the prerequisite games, then you do the thing. Yeah. Cool. Just play absolute zero a bunch and like do a bunch of damage and play a bunch of cards and take a bunch of damage. There you go. That's everything. All right. Oh, look,
Wait back. If we get 3 together, they'll hunt.
That's true. That's what happens. All right.
Too much fun with things.
Is the live stream going to be available for watching later for us Europeans?
Yes.
No, I don't like Europeans.
Don't say things like that.
Christopher does, but Mr. Chomps doesn't.
Don't say things like that,
I'm
Mr.
rude.
Chomps. No, you're not. Yes,
Man, that guy.
It'll be available for everyone later. So it's going to be on our YouTube, our Twitch. I'll post it on Facebook. We'll post it on our website if we can. I will post it everywhere that I can possibly think to post it, and I will let you all know.
You heard it here first. First for Mr. Chomps, who said no. Will any other Sentinels appear in any other games? Rarely. It could happen. It's not. I'm not going to say no, but we're pretty sparing about that. I feel like. Oh my gosh, we're almost done with these questions. How tricky was it to make Luminary complexity one hero, considering this villain shtick is convoluted death machines? He still has convoluted death machines in his deck. Luminary's deck is definitely doomsday devices and ridiculous plots, and yet it still plays pretty straightforward. Partially because we've introduced the mechanics you need to make Luminary run throughout the entire game since the first game, Sentinels: The Multiverse. So, pretty straightforward. Yes.
What are cue ball's 15 powers?
I'm not going to list. That's a question for the letters page. I'm not going to sit here and list the 15 powers.
Who appeared in ODD?
One deck dungeon was Fnatic.
And somebody answered it immediately after.
I
When
said
are we
first.
getting Blue Go?
Bluego!
Plushie.
Oh man, Bluego plushies. I definitely want that. Hey, another Mr. Chomps. There are 3 now.
No, there's not. Kate, where's yours?
Yes. Look, I've got. I'm going to turn the camera around again. I'm sorry. I'm sure this messes everything up.
So
I have so many Mr. Chomps in a case back there in the corner.
which is the case that I cannot reach into. I'm too short.
That was a case that we made that case for we did a live stream like this on the last day of the Oblivion Kickstarter. During the last hour of the Kickstarter, and watched the Kickstarter end. And during that we had a guess of like how many were in there. And somebody guessed the exact correct number, and they won a bunch of stuff.
I bet they can do the maths.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
yeah. Well, the trick is we didn't let anybody know how tall it was.
Oh, okay.
It was because we were facing this way, and we're like, oh, it's all the way in the background, and people can see it. And then they're like, somebody's like, will somebody go back and stand next to that? We're like, nope, we won't do that.
Who wants to go to St. Louis and raid the Mr. Chomps bin? How many are in there?
It was 90, I want to say something. It was around 90. I don't now really recall, and I know it's not correct anymore because we've definitely both removed Mr. Chomps from that and put more Mr. Chomps in. We decided we actually really like having a Mr. Chomps case in the front of the office.
So
yeah,
people have said okay. So for the question that you didn't want to answer because it's a letters.
Oh yeah, the
question,
15 powers.
They said they submitted it and it has not been answered.
Well, then we haven't talked about.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Anything that's been submitted but hasn't been answered yet just means we haven't. It's like still sitting in the queue, and someday the cue ball queue, and someday it will get answered. How is Sentinels of Earth Prime design going? It is going. It is right now happening simultaneously with Sentinel Comics RPG stuff. But it is. There should be an update for the Sentinel Prime Kickstarter in the next month or so. From me, I need to write that update too. So when I say you're going to hear more from them, I'm going to tell you, but in the correct venue for it. Sparky says, "Can I get a happy birthday from you guys?" I'm afraid we're out. Like, I really wanted to. I'd love to give you a happy birthday, but like, I thought I'd ordered more, but when I went to check under the cabinet for the happy birthdays, I can give you like a joyous day of remembrance of your birth. I can give
That
you.
sounds like they died. Remembrance of their birth?
Right, that's how you die.
That sounds kind of like you died.
I can give you a most exciting annual experience of growing older. How's that? Is that like happy birthday? I'm out of the happy birthdays. I'm
You're
really
very bad at this.
I'm terrible at this. I'm not very good at words, so.
Andy asked,
Okay.
how do you like St. Louis? And I think that's probably a question for me,
Yeah.
since Andy knows when I decided to move to St. Louis, and it has been really, really good. I really enjoy it. Christopher gave me a cat, which is what Christopher is known for at our office. He's given 3 different people cats. He's a cat peddler, Ray, Mara.
Ray's not my cat. Ray got a cat from somebody else.
Oh. Well, you gave Mara 2.
I gave Mara 2.
So
I've given 3 cats away.
Yeah.
But only 2 people so far. If anybody needs cats, I
regularly.
I generate artisanal cats, high quality, handcrafted, locally sourced cats. They're not vegan at all.
Will they be given awards? Will they be given as Kickstarter rewards?
I don't think I can do that legally.
I don't know. I can look into it.
Please do. But yeah, no, we have lots of cats. We had 5 cats last year. I have the picture of like we had once we had many more than 5 over the course of last year. But at one time I had a stack of 5 kittens. There's a photo on Twitter of me holding a stack of 5 kittens like this. They're all stacked up.
How did you stack them? I don't want to know.
It was the one that Mara has. There was the 4 siblings and then Eclipse.
Oh, okay.
And so I picked up one and put it here. And I picked up another one. I put it on top. I picked up another. They all really liked me and they liked snuggling. And so I just stacked them up and I would carry them around like this. And they'd all just kind of.
Further proof that you're part cat. Jeremy says that he longs for the day that he can get one of your artisanal cats.
Great. Let me know. I'll ship you one. I have another question here. A question for Adam. But why is the void jelly and not a jam? Yeah, that's more of a question for Adam. Adam would probably say something about the void is mysterious and not truly fully knowable. So there you go. Oh, I missed it. There was a cat selfie. Did you see the cat selfie?
Vaguely.
I'm now looking at the selfies tab, and they're all delightful.
Oh, look at all them. That's guys. A cat. Yeah. Wait.
Look at that cat.
Look at that cat.
Yeah. Oh, another cat.
Oh, cat stacks. Well then, you fooled me.
That's how you stack cats.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't the guy.
There's a different
Chewy, show us your cat.
Okay. It's only been an hour and 17 minutes, so I thought this would take 2 hours. We've gotten through all the Q's and A's, but now, yeah, I'm over into the chat tab now finally, because it's French for cat.
Oh yeah, it is. Except for you don't say it like that.
Yeah, you do. The chat tab for cats.
Yes. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna argue with it.
I know everything about French.
BRB fetching cats. Somebody's gonna show us their cat.
Sorry, Take Walker. I will go away from the chat tab so you guys can chat and Maggie will see it and I won't see it. I'm actually back over to the Q&A. Okay. Is there anything else we need to cover? I think we've gone over all the questions. I kind of had to. There was a bunch of repetitive stuff there.
How would Parse react to somebody flirting with her?
I said that
Did
one.
You got that one?
I said obtusely.
Sorry.
I said obtusely.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
they're not showing up as answered on my end, but
the Kickstarter interface doesn't love us, but it worked out pretty well.
Just to be sure, did everyone get their questions answered that submitted them?
Yeah, if you have other questions, another cat.
Oh, look
at that
great. Cat. Take a look at that cat.
This is my. Oh, here we go. Let me.
Oh, there are questions coming in now in the chat.
Okay, I'll look at them in a second.
How many languages do you speak? Both of you.
Between the two of us, we speak 3.5 languages.
Really? What languages do you speak?
English and Spanish.
Okay.
And you speak English and half of Italian.
Arabic.
Half of Arabic.
And I also speak French and German.
What? You speak 3.5 languages.
And you speak 2.
Yes.
So we speak 5.5?
No, because one of ours overlaps.
Oh, yeah, 6.
Nope.
Oh. You didn't hire me to do math.
I sure didn't. All right, cool. All right.
Don't laugh at me.
Did you hear that math happen?
No.
It's Paul. Ugh! He can't run in time. It's Paul.
He
He's
came out to laugh at
he
me.
came out. You guys got to see a glimpse of the rare Paul. Nobody gets to see Paul.
Random Paul sighting.
That's amazing.
There was an actual question about things that matter, though, too. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's roll. Who would win in a drinking contest, Legacy or Haka? Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me this close. I'll bruise.
I think that's a threat. I will bruise at you. Haka would.
Another cat in a laundry machine.
Don't
do that. Don't do that.
No cat laundering. Listen, I've got a lot of cats coming in and out of my house. No cat laundering. Okay. Oh, good. Somebody found the cat stack photo.
Yeah. Dang, Maggie's talented. That's right.
Did you-
Maggie is.
Here.
Oh, I didn't click on it.
That's
no.
okay. I'll do it over here.
I'm busy doing other
Look
stuff.
at this. Look at the stack of cats. It's only four cats stacked. It wasn't 5. I exaggerated, I guess. I forgot. It's
Don't
also-
exaggerate to be cool, Christopher. People don't like that.
I only stacked 4 cats. I don't feel very cool. All right. So with that said,
Oh,
what?
what kind of comics
Here we
did
go.
you read growing up? What was your favorite era of comic? Gold, silver, iron, etc.
I read a lot of comics growing up. I liked a lot of I mean, you know what sort of comics I like because you've played Sentinels the Multiverse. Like, I really like a lot of the storytelling sensibility of the Silver Age, but I also love a lot of the, like, the cool out there stuff of the late 80s and early 90s, like the extreme stuff. So there's something to be said for a lot of the different eras of comics. There's certain comics I don't like as much. There's certain comic creators, both writers and artists, that aren't as much my favorite. But in general, I like a lot of the variety of comics. I like that you can get something kind of different all the time there. And I love it as a storytelling medium, as the blending of art and words. Yeah.
There's more questions. Scroll.
Alex, yeah, I do. I generally prefer graphic novels to comic books, and when I read comic books, I usually do it in trades. I'm terrible at keeping up on a weekly basis on things.
Somebody asked what the brown thing is behind you to the right. Oh, corkboard.
This is a corkboard, and it's got like our Gen Con room set up. You can see like, oh, this is what we're gonna do in the Gen Con room, and there's gonna be tables for games, and tables for games, and then tables for games, and then also tables from games, and then we'll like sell stuff here, but then tables for games. Cool.
Oh, you said the first update in month, fill-in month. Does that mean multiple updates later?
Maybe. The only reason I said first update is because there might be later updates later that month to be like, oh, hey, we got a container, look at it. Or like if we have news, we will write an update to share that news with you. But if not, then it would just be the one update. So you can bet on at least one update in each of those months. Hopefully more, because more is good news.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about in Oblivion that nobody asked about?
No, I don't think so. I think we're got it covered. I mean, I'm mostly excited for you guys to have Oblivion and look at it so we can all talk about it together and play it and have a good time.
And I think that is it.
All right.
That's as far as I could scroll in the chat. It was being finicky.
Yeah, I feel like we had a much easier time with it during the preview stream. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably less questions, maybe, because then when I went in and submitted all of those, they were very long questions, which is
Yeah.
probably why people emailed them to me.
Right, and then people are like, you know, I mean, I like that system more, but it is nice to be able to put the questions up on the screen for people.
When is Oblivion set for letters page?
April, I think April. I'm pretty sure April. I'd have to pull up the schedule, and that's just too much work. But we will be revealing the schedule as we go.
Somebody likes your tattoo.
Oh, thank you.
Someone asked someone asked is the 999,000
That's 9,999.
whatever math damage reducible.
No.
Favorite part of the RPG?
Playing it. No, GMing it. No, writing it. I like the twists. I really love twists. It allows me to do success at a cost. So it's like, oh yeah, no, you succeeded at the thing, but there's fallout from your success. Like, oh, it's great. It's super fun. It's very compelling storytelling if you do it right. I really like that the environment is still a thing. That's actually a thing I've gotten some really positive feedback from other RPG designers about, is that like this game still has the environment, and just like the environment's an important thing in the Sentinels the Multiverse card game, in the RPG, it's an element, it's important. It does stuff so that when you are you know, if, as a GM and you're running stuff, if the hero's just doing things and not interacting with bad guys or whatever, that's fine. You still have this whole environment that is an active participant that impacts the scene.
Can the damage be redirected though?
I don't think so. It might be able to be redirected, but I know that Oblivion's immune to it.
How cool is it that this game has brought so many people together?
That's very cool. That's one of my favorite things, honestly, is that the community for this game and how many people are, how many people have fun playing this game, people that are artistically inspired by this game, all that stuff. Like, I made this game because I wanted to. I wanted to play it, really. I wanted something like it to exist. And the fact that there's so many people whose lives have been impacted in some way by it is amazing. It's the greatest gift.
Someone said thank you for making everything. If we made the costumes and took the photographs, would you make a cosplay art version of cards?
I might like. I don't know that I would print one because I'd have to print at least 5,000 for it to be viable. But I could absolutely put up like PDFs of all the cards in the game replaced with all of the arts. So like you had that thing, and then you could do like one-off decks or thing of them. But like that'd be easy to put together.
Jeremy says it sounds like a video game thing.
That's been a lot easier to implement in the video game where you can just swap out the art.
If I flew to London, would you have a beer with me? I will.
Andy,
Andy.
Andy, you're flying to London anyway. No, I won't have a beer with you. Yes, I'll have a beer with you. I look forward to it. All right, everybody. Thank you all. Thank you all. I had a blast. I hope you had fun. I hope this was useful and informative. Like I said, we will be back in a month to talk about The Office and look at stuff. We're gonna look at stuff. We're gonna look at Mr. Chomps. It's gonna be great. And then we'll be back a month after that. What? Someone
asked if we would send out our business cards as gifts because they are like they're the art. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've got one.
Okay, cool. I usually have business cards in my pocket, but I just got my vest back from the dry cleaner, and
it's dirty in my.
Oh, that is mine. It's like that's mine.
That's the one you gave me.
It's like, where's your business card?
I don't have them yet.
What?
I'll have them by PAX East.
I'm furious. There's my business card. That's what it looks like if it's been like
in
rubbed all over
yeah.
the ground.
In a purse since like November. What should I say? I didn't need it that much. But,
cool.
What advice do you have for making twists up?
It depends. I mean, like first off, go to the heroes. Go to the heroes' principles and pull from there. Second, go to the scene, the environment. Always look at what's going on in the environment. Think of making up twists on the fly as being a live environment deck from Sentinels and Multiverse. Like, what's the thing that could come up for the deck? And if it's a major twist, it's going to be a big thing that impacts the story and probably has lasting effects through the end of the encounter one way or another. Whereas a minor twist is going to be like a momentary hurdle, or sometimes if you have minions in a scene, you can be like, oh, some backup arrives and add like one or two more of those minions for the twist, like that. But doing something that's not just like, here's an immediate bad thing, but here's a thing that not only is a bad thing, but also does more storytelling. It brings the scene in more, and it brings the whole story more to life. That's always what I like to do with a twist.
Do you donate your hair, or do you keep it long?
A decade ago, oh god, I grew my hair out, and it got to about this length here, like that's how long my hair gets, pocket length on a vest roughly, and then it stops. It doesn't get any longer than this. So like my hair, that's the terminal end of my hair. So I would have no hair to donate because there it goes. I would love it if my hair got longer. It does not do that thing. So I have long hair and a beard because I don't like shaving and I don't like getting haircuts. So this is a look of convenience for me.
Is there any Sentinels of the Multiverse music with lyrics? Not made.
Yeah. No, John Mark has. There's the Proletariat song, the Mordengrad song. I don't know if he ended up leaving the lyrics though in the final versions, but there are some lyrics ones, but they're not. None of them are like, let's sing a song about Sentinels. It's good times. Nope. Adam and I have made up many different lyrics to the Sentinels of the Multiverse main theme song, and we sing them during letters page prep sometimes, but they're all bad and dumb, and we don't like them. So I shouldn't probably have said that on the live stream, because now people are gonna be like, "What are they?" And then we'll say, "Oh, we're not gonna tell you." And they're like, "Oh, come on!" And then that's the whole conversation.
You need to sing those for us sometime. That is the immediate thing. Somebody said Gloom.
Gloomweaver.
Yeah, the Gloomweaver song.
Oh yeah, Gloomweaver. Yes. Is
that like Blue River?
No, it's like Goldfinger. The Goldfinger. Do you know Goldfinger? Do you?
I am young. Sorry.
Oh no, there's an elevator here at my desk. I can do other tricks. Oh, just gonna walk down some stairs.
Bye, Christopher. Maggie,
funny.
I'm laughing so hard right now. Andy.
Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you in a month.
Bye, guys.